Okay, welcome to your 3.5 video cast. The essential question today is how can you use regrouping to multiply two-digit numbers? So we're going to be doing 2 by 2 digit multiplication, and we're going to do actually the way that we taught you last chapter. By 1914, Henry Ford had streamlined his assembly line to make a Model T Ford car in 93 minutes. How many minutes did it take to make 25 Model Ts? Okay, we're going to underline what we need to find. We need to find how many minutes it took to make 25 Model Ts. And then we're going to circle the clues that we need to use. 93 minutes is going to be a clue, and 25 T models. Okay, and I know that I'm going to multiply those two numbers together. So I'm going to multiply 93 times 25, and we're going to use place value and regrouping to do that. First we're going to estimate, because you might not want to know the exact answer to how long it took him, but maybe you could just want to know like about how long did it take him. You could round 93 down to 90, and you could round 25 up to 30. Okay, so we know that 9 times 3 is 27, plus 2 zeros would be 2,200. So we know that our answer is going to be about 2,200. Okay, over here we're going to think over here, and then we're going to actually record our answer in this column. So think of 93 as 9 tens and 3 ones. Multiply 25 by 3 ones. Okay, so here you're going to do 3 times 25. So first you're going to do 3 times 5. So you're going to go up. 3 times 5 is 15. You're going to regroup that 1, because that represents 110. Then you're going to go over and you're going to go 3 times 2. Or 3 times, technically 20. 3 times 20. And 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1 is 7. Then you're going to multiply 25 by 9 tens. Okay? So you're going to go over and you're going to multiply 9 times 5. When 9 times 5 is 45. Make sure you do your placeholder 0. And 9 times 2 is 18, plus 4 is 22. And you're going to write the whole 22 down below. Notice how they crossed off the 1 here, because you'd already added that up here on step 1. So you don't want to get confused there. So now you have 2 partial products. Instead of in lesson 3.3 and lesson 3.4, you had 4 partial products. So they're adding these your first 2 steps together to do 3 times 25 and then 90 times 25. So now you only have 2 partial products, and you can see those down here, which is 75 and 2025. And then you're just going to add those numbers together. 2,325. So 9 times 25 is 2,325. Since 2,325 is close to the estimate of, look at our estimate up there, which is 2,200, the answer is reasonable.
Okay, now we're moving on to page 172. On this page, we're going to look at different ways that you can multiply. On this page it says you can use different ways to multiply and still get the correct answer. Sean and Patty both solved 67 times 40 correctly, but they used different ways. As we've been doing this unit, we've learned lots of different ways to solve a problem using different methods, and that's okay. Right now what we're going to do is we're going to compare Sean's paper to Patty's paper to see how they're the same and how they're different. In the first problem, Sean's, it says 60 times 40 equals 2,400, and 7 times 40 equals 280. Then he looks like he added together these partial products, 2,400 and 280, to get 2,680. So when you look at his work, where did that 60 that Sean multiplied by come from? So when you look at the original problem was 67 times 40. I see where the 40 came from. Where'd the 60 come from? Well, he broke apart the 67 factor into 6 tens for 60 and 7 ones, or 60 and 7. So together this is 67 times 40, and they just added the partial products together. On Patty's paper down below, it looks like she started by multiplying the ones in 40 times 67. So she did 0 times 7 is 0. She did 0 times 6 is 0. Then she crossed off the ones and zeroed out. And she did 4 times 7 is 28. So she put the 8 down here and regrouped the 2. Then she did 4 times 6 is 24, plus the 2 more is 26. And then she took these two partial products and she added them together to get 2,680. Okay. So both Sean's answer and Patty's answer are the same. So down here they're asking us, what method did Sean use to solve the problem? Well, it looks like he used his place value for 67 to break that into expanded form. And then he used mental math to solve these problems, 7 times 40 and 60 times 40. So down here, Sean used place value and mental math. What method did Patty use? Well, Patty used some place value too, because she had to recognize that she's multiplying by the ones for this first row, and then she multiplied by the tens for this second row. So we could say that Patty used place value, but instead of mental math, she did some regrouping here. You can see that on the work up here. When we study the two strategies, or the two ways that these two children solved the problem, we can see that even though their partial products don't necessarily match, you can see though that this together makes 2,680, which is one of the partial products down here. Well, when you think about it, this was where she multiplied by the ones, and this partial product down here is when she multiplied by the tens. What you're going to do now is you're going to go ahead and do the share and show on page 172 and 173 in your books.